Hi guys, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today is a video I'm super excited to do. It's a video that I do every single year, once a year. And even though I'm coming to you monthly with my empties, I go through everything that I emptied throughout the year. I keep all that trash and I go through it in categories at the end of the year. And we talk about the overall amount of money that I spent on products that I emptied in the year. And then I also this year have drilled it down to how much I actually spent on makeup empties and how many of those products were makeup empties at the end of the day. I did this because I keep track of everything because I am a spreadsheet junkie and everything is on the spreadsheet that's sitting next to me. But in this video, you get to see everything. Deodorants I used, fragrances I used, all the things that normally wouldn't count into my makeup inventory or my inventory products, right? So the products that count against me in my beauty rehab series, my makeup rehab series, those products are labeled differently, but this includes everything that I emptied throughout the year. And it's always so enormous. The amount of money that I spend on these products is so enormous, and it gives me some kind of I don't know, validation to having this like crazy obsession with beauty, to see the amount of money of the products that I also emptied not only brought into my collection. You guys just heard about my inventory not that long ago. That's just about beauty. This is about everything as it pertains to beauty, like my cleansers, my skincare, my fragrance, my all the things. That is included in these empties. If you've watched my empties before, you know what we're about ready to go through. But if you haven't watched my empties before, I have some pretty amazing empty videos for a year of empties here on my channel. I'll link those up in the cards for you. I encourage you, please go watch them. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on this channel, but I ultimately am just out here because I love talking about makeup. I'm assuming if you're here, you also like to talk about makeup. Kind of a chatty channel, so I hope that this channel brings solace to your soul in the way it brings solace to mine. And with that said, let's roll into this empties video. All right, so in this empties video, I don't include anything that I have decluttered. Now on my channel, you guys heard in my inventory last week, I believe it was, that I had 289 decluttered products. None of that is included in here, and that's not something I'm proud of, but I also know that I have an awful lot of empties to go over with you today, so let's just jump in. And this is kind of a conglomerate of all the empties that I go over with you throughout the year. This just kind of compiles everything into a picture and verbalization of how much I used of each product, and you will also see dollar amounts on the screen as well. The first picture on the list is tools, and for tools I used 3 beauty sponges and 21 brushes. In the past, I would go through multiple different sponges every year, and I think a lot of that is because I was buying more cheaply made sponges, and then the other 2 are Morphe that I didn't even start using until this year, and I didn't use them very often, to be honest, which is probably why they lasted as long as they did. In terms of the brushes though, there are several of those brushes that kind of fell apart. The Sigma one up at the very top of the picture was ultimately the saddest moment for me. That one just continued to fall apart. At one point while I was cleaning it, I was pulling out some of the stray hairs, if you will, and a whole big glob of the hairs came out, so it wasn't a brush that I felt comfortable using or could use really anymore. And then you see the big fluffy, like almost rectangular shape Real Techniques brush in there. One of my favorite brushes, honestly, was cleaning it one day and it also fell apart. Most of those brushes are brushes that I just don't see myself using anymore. I either used and I didn't like how they performed, or I used and used and used and used until they became too pokey for me to feel comfortable using them anymore. A lot of them were just shapes that I didn't like. That is that. For fragrances, interestingly enough, I didn't have any candles this year, and I didn't have any perfumes, and perfume is not one that I go through a whole lot in the first place, but I'm looking to change that this year. I do have quite a few perfumes over there in my perfume inventory that maybe I'll do a video on with you guys at some point, and I am looking to change that this year. So what I have for you in picture form is the wallflowers that I purchased from Bath and Body Works all the time. I always have 2 or 3 going in my house, and I was actually surprised that there's only 12 on here, but they do last quite some time, which is good because regular price they're like $6.50 a piece, but I always go in and get them on the 5 for $25 sale that Bath and Body Works does. So no candles and no perfume. All right, the next one I have is hand soap. And on one of those hand soap, you can see a bunch of tally marks. I just don't have the space to keep all of the hand soap containers that I go through in a year on hand for years. I did go through 11 different hand soaps. I always have 2 going in my house, one in the bathroom upstairs and one at the sink in my kitchen. So I have all of them in Empties videos, and I talk about each one of the scents specifically in those videos and whether I would repurchase or not. I'll link my Empties playlist as well so that you guys can watch those if you want to go back and visualize those. The next category I have on here is makeup removers. So facial cleansers or makeup removing eye balms or makeup removing balms, period. And I do have 13 makeup removers and 2 single wipes. So I do have this in 2 separate pictures because one of the 13 makeup removers was an eye makeup remover stick from e.l.f. that for the longest time I thought was a lip primer. I do a series on my channel going through the makeup that I've hauled in the past. It's haul in retrospect, really influenced and inspired by Lauren May Beauty, who also does a series the same on her channel. And I was doing one of those haul in retrospects and realized that this thing that I had in my collection thinking it was a lip primer that didn't work was actually an eye makeup remover. So I don't buy makeup wipes anymore, which is a great thing. So these just came from random hotels that I maybe spent time at. I travel for my job. You guys can see I have 4 separate tubs of the Clinique Take the Day Off balm. That is my favorite balm eye makeup remover. 2 of them I have in travel size and 2 of them I have in full size. And then I have the liquid Take the Day Off liquid makeup remover as well. I don't like that as much. That Clean It Zero makeup balm was such a big tub. It also didn't clean as well. I didn't feel like I liked it, but I don't feel like it cleaned as well. And it was a little more moussey to the touch than the Take the Day Off cleanser balm was. So I felt like I had to maybe use more of it to get off as much makeup as just a slight bit of the Take the Day Off balm by Clinique. The CeraVe is not one that I loved wholeheartedly. I did end up, when it was about 2/3 full, giving it to my daughter. And I would use it for taking makeup off my hands, like swatches or whatnot, and then she would use it for her face. I probably wouldn't repurchase that one. All the other ones, except for the Clinique liquid, I would definitely repurchase. The Tarte Rainforest of the Sea cleanser had been in my collection for forever, probably 5 years. I finally put it into my shower and used it to clean my face when I first got in the shower. And that's how I was able to get rid of that one. The Kiss Aftercare is for mascara. It's, I think, specifically made for false lashes. They're lint-free remover pads. I didn't find them to be as lint-free as they had said that they were, and I didn't really love those. I won't purchase those again. The chlorine stung my eyes, but I love the component of it because it was one of those components that you could push on the top and it would make the remover rise to the top and soak your cotton pad. So love that. The two Garnier, the two like little like red and blue top, I like those for use at my little makeup station here and then use it for cleanup of my eye makeup. I might repurchase one of those specifically for that reason. So the next picture you're seeing is my like body category, if you will. It includes 3 of the Tree Hut body scrubs, which I always have on hand, will always repurchase. It includes 1 body wash, which is the kind of like yellow body wash container by Bath and Body Works. This is just 1 body wash, whereas there's also soap that you can't add to an empty. I promise you, my family has used more than 1 body wash. If I can get a hold of them before everybody throws them away, then they come in here, but if not, then they don't. It has 2 Dove deodorants. There's the EOS shave cream on there, which I have since switched to a shave oil. They last a little bit longer. So that is the only shave cream in here, but I also used leftover like conditioner when I had excess conditioner bottles because I use shampoo a lot more than I use conditioner. I used that to shave for a while this last year too. And then it has 2 hand creams. So the Cocoa Magic on one side of the shave cream and the yellow, like it's cake heavy cream. That's also a hand cream. And it's in the little yellow container. It smelled like birthday cake and was the best. And then there's also the Boom Boom Cream by Sol de Janeiro. I would definitely buy more Sol de Janeiro. I would actually honestly buy more of that cake hand cream too that smelled like birthday cake because it was amazing. I will always rebuy the sugar scrubs for my body. I will always rebuy like the deodorant. I love the Dove deodorant. It doesn't impact my underarms as much as some other deodorants do. I have since switched to a shave oil, like I said, so I probably won't be buying that EOS shave cream anymore. But I did like it. It wasn't bad, and that one was specifically made for sensitive skin. But the Cocoa Magic hand cream I got from TJ Maxx, I believe, and it was not great. But it's been in my collection for forever because it wasn't great. I felt like it dried out my hands more. I quit using it on my hands, and then it just sat in my collection for forever. But I decided I wanted to start using some of those older products. So I started using this on my feet. I didn't feel like it dried out my feet the way it did my hands. So that's how we ended up with that as an empty. Okay, the next picture I have is what I'm calling my miscellaneous, but one of the products in here I ended up putting in my lash category because it is, after all, the box of a pair of lashes. Also in this category, you see that I have 2 makeup brush cleanser bottles. These are the Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleanser that I use after every single use of my brushes. I clean it with that. I go through about 2 of these a year. That's pretty typical for me, and I currently have another one in use right now. I love this makeup brush cleanser. I will always repurchase it. And then I also have the Beauty Blender Cleanser Solid in here. This is one of 2 cleanser solids that I actually went through, but my current cleanser solid is still holding a piece. I know that you guys can't see it in there, but I bought a Beauty Blender travel holder that came with a solid in it, but it's just a little tiny solid compared to what's in these, these containers. So I'm using that other to hold on to that didn't come in a container. So I actually went through 2 of those, and I use that specifically for sponges. I also have in here a black teeth whitening pen, which I hated. I will never purchase another one of these ever. And I also have in here the 1 pack of cotton pads. I don't purchase cotton pads anymore. I use, reusable pads instead these days. That is one of the 2 cotton pad bags that I had left from 2021, early in 2021, when I quit buying cotton pads. This is all I have left of the other bag that I had purchased at that same time. It took me, almost a whole year to get through this bag, and this was empty very early on last year. They're the Shiseido cotton pads. They're amazing cotton pads. I'm just trying to get out of the habit of purchasing those one-time use products. So that is what's on my miscellaneous bucket. I will always buy the Beauty Blender Solid or some kind of blender solid to cleanse my sponges. And I will always buy the brush cleanser from Cinema Secrets. But the rest of these things, I won't purchase again. The next category I have is hair. And I have a couple of pictures to go along with hair. I did go through 4 shampoos and 4 conditioners. One of those shampoos is a liter bottle shampoo, and then 3 of them are sets. So the 2 yellow bottles are the Fekkai Full Blown Volume shampoo and conditioner, and then the 2 pink ones are the Redken Volume Injection shampoo and conditioner. Obviously, we have a volume problem in this household. Neither one of these are shampoo and conditioner that I use for myself more than once or twice. They are shampoo and conditioner that my kids used. Specifically, my daughter. She needs a lot more volume in her hair. The white set, the Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate shampoo and conditioner, those are my shampoo and conditioner. And I love this shampoo and conditioner. I think that, like, I have vivids in my hair. I am constantly doing something with my hair. And this shampoo and conditioner, I feel like, helps keep my hair healthy. So there is 1 shampoo and 2 conditioners in this. Tea Tree Lavender Mint Moisturizing Shampoo. That is the liter bottle. And my kids use that. I don't like tea tree on my own hair. I feel like it strips my color, so I don't use it. For the most part, when I do condition my hair, it's one of the products that you're seeing now, which is those color depositing masks. So I do have the conditioner, color conditioner here that is in hot pink. This is one that is my go-to use on my hair regardless of the color that's in it currently, because it tends to go with just about any other color that I put in it. And then I also have the Redken Color Extend Blondage VB, which is the violet blue pigment. And this was the mask that I was using in my hair when my hair was kind of gray, ashy blonde down to violet. That is the mask that I was using in my hair during that time to keep that gray blonde not brassy. And then the last picture is styling products that I used on my hair. And I'm actually pretty surprised here that I only have 2 dry shampoos, because if you've been with me for a while, you know that I use a lot of dry shampoo, but apparently not this last year. Apparently this last year I was washing my hair a lot more. But I don't understand that, because I don't think it's changed much. I go 7 to 10 days between washes just because of the color in my hair, but maybe I just didn't need dry shampoo as much as I have in the past, because now the oil and the stuff in my hair is used to me going that long. But I only have 2 dry shampoos. So there is a travel size detox dry shampoo by Drybar, which isn't bad. I don't mind that dry shampoo. But right next to it is the Redken Invisible Dry Shampoo, and I love that dry shampoo. I would purchase more of those in a heartbeat. And they're kind of spendy, but well worth it. They don't flake like a lot of other dry shampoos do. And it doesn't like build up on your hair either, like a lot of other dry shampoos do. Then there's the Redken Wax Blast. I use the Wax Blast a lot as a texturizer, because you can spray just a little bit in your hair and then just kind of do this, and it looks as though you've put like a bunch of the power grip or powder grip in your hair. It texturizes really well. It smells really good. I love this product, and purchased another one that's sitting back there now because I do love it. The next thing is the IGK Crybaby. This is an anti-frizz smoothing balm, and I love this to put into my hair, much like that of an oil. on the ends specifically. I do use it sometimes in my part as well because I do get kind of frizzy in my part sometimes. But I loved this smoothing balm. It was really, really nice, and that is a full size also. And then I had the Aquage, and in the Aquage, that was a shine spray. And I ended up putting this into a project pan because I really didn't understand this product. But the more and more I used it through my project pan, the more and more I loved it. It made my hair look really, really healthy, really, really pretty, and freshly washed every single time I used it, because it created a shine without creating a film on my hair, if that makes any sense. And the next category I have is skin. And I have a couple of different things in the skin category, and I have the pictures kind of all over the place, so bear with me. The first picture I'm going to show you is a sheet mask. This is actually like sheet and face mask. The box is Biore nose strips, and there were 14 of those, and we did use all of those. For the most part, this was my son who used those, but I also used them, which is how I was able to get the empty box and remind to put it into my empties. And then the sheet masks, one of them does have tallies on it. It says that there are 5 tallies on it plus the 2 that are here. So it appears I used 7 sheet masks and then those 14 nose strips. I do think I used more sheet masks than what is here. I do take sheet masks with me every single time I'm out of town. So logically, I should have, somewhere between 30 and 40 sheet masks, because I'm not out of town every single week, but I'm out of town most weeks. And I only have tallied for and pictured for 7. So I don't know what happened here. I don't know how many ended up not even coming into my empties, not even getting put in the box, or if they got put in the box and I accidentally threw them away. At the end of the day, I'm not sure. I'm certain I went through more sheet masks than this because I have a whole basket of sheet masks I've been trying to get through since back in the Ipsy, subscription days, but it is what it is. That's what I've got showing, so that's what I tallied as far as metrics for, dollars. The next picture is my facial sunscreens. There are only 2 here, but this is the one that I've been using recently, going between this one. I think it was going between this one and another one. I'm not sure where the other one was, but this is huge. There's so much sunscreen in here. There is 2.4 fluid ounces. It doesn't take much of this. I still squirt 3 squirts on my hand of this, and it's almost empty, but it's not quite empty. So I do think this is probably accurate. Both of these were brand new when I started using them this year. So I do have the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector with SPF 42. You guys, I really liked this SPF. It was white and went on to your skin white, but it didn't leave a white cast. It was also kind of like this dry liquid, if that makes any sense. It was very, very strange, but I really, really liked it. And I would repurchase it. But with that said, the other one is the Tula Protect and Glow. It's a daily sunscreen gel that has an SPF of 30 on it, which I wish was higher. It's got a UVA and UVB protecting, and it is full of probiotics and superfoods, and I actually liked this one so much more than I have ever liked any facial sunscreen. So I would probably buy that one again before I would buy any other one. It's a really great facial sunscreen. I do wish it was a higher SPF, but it is what it is, and I did like it. The one that I'm currently using, the Garnier, I don't love, but it is what it is. There is no body sunscreen in here, so I'm not sure. We spent so much time out in the sun this last year, paddle boarding, out on the river, doing whatever, camping even, which I don't camp, but I don't know what happened to the body sunscreen. I'm sure we used up some body sunscreen, but I'm just not sure where it went. And I do know that there were 2 other like facial sunscreens that were spray bottles, we must have used them up while we were out camping or out at the beach or whatever it was, and threw them away there because I don't have them. These are the only two that are counting towards my total, so that's that. I also have in this category the 4 eye creams that you're looking at right now. Of these 4 eye creams, like I would say that the little tiny Purity one was my least favorite. Most of these are deluxe. There are, yeah, one of them is a true sample, that is the Purity one, and then the other 3 are deluxe sizes or travel sizes. I totally think a travel size eye cream is perfectly fine for you. The Purity one I don't feel like did nothing for my eyes. I really did like the Drunk Elephant Sea Tango multivitamin eye cream. I really did like that one. It had a nice scent to it. It didn't leave like any kind of, it didn't feel heavy on my under eyes. It was really lotiony, really beautiful. I loved the Clarins Total Eye Lift, and actually purchased a full size based on what I got from this. And then the Shiseido Benefiance Wrinkle Resistant Eye Contour Cream was actually also very, very nice. I would repurchase that as well. I also used one thing of eye gels. These are eye gels that I received in my lucky bag last year. And I have really just decided that I love using eye gels on my under eyes. I am currently using a set of Peter Thomas Roth eye gels. I liked these ones by Good Molecules a whole lot more. These are caffeine energizing hydrogel eye patches, and there were 30 pair in here, and they were wonderful. I love them so much. I didn't use them every single day, but I did use them probably, I would say twice a week or so. So they did last quite a bit in my collection. I'm trying to use the eye gels that I have more, but I definitely loved these and would repurchase them, and they're Good Molecules, so they're pretty affordable. This picture is the 3 toners that I was able to use this year. One of them is the Clinique Step 2 Clarifying Lotion. It's an exfoliating cleanser. An exfoliating twice a day exfoliator for dry combination skin. Then there's the little bottle next to it is actually a sample of the cacao, matcha, and chai like essence lotion. And then next to it is actually what is considered a full size now of the milk cooling water, which I also used as a toner on my skin because it was just so nice. So all 3 of those empty. That Clinique Step 2 I will repurchase. I currently have one going in my collection right now. The other 2 I wouldn't repurchase. And then I have the 3 moisturizers that you're seeing. I have the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Peptide. Loved that moisturizer, would repurchase it in a heartbeat. Love also the component of it because you can, squeeze it and it pushes out of this little tiny hole at the top the perfect amount for you. There's no dipping your fingers in it. It's very sanitary. Then I have the Goldfen MD Vital Boost. Love that as well, but that's $77 for that little squeezy tube. So I probably would not repurchase that, but I did like it and did feel like it impacted my skin in a very, very good way. And then the little sample guy is a sample of the Proactive Green Tea Moisturizer. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the smell of it. I didn't like the consistency of it. I didn't like it. So I wouldn't purchase a full size of that. I'm actually kind of shocked that those are the only 3 facial moisturizers that I have on here. But I do have like all of these open ones right now that I need to get through. So I guess it doesn't surprise me at all. And then the last picture I have for skin is the 5 serums that I went through. So I have the Dermalect Self-Esteem Beauty Sleep Serum, which is the red bottle at the one end. I will never repurchase that. I didn't feel like it did anything for my skin. It is supposedly a glycolic, salicylic, and all-absorbic acids serum, and I didn't feel like it did anything to help my skin. The one next over is a milk, like watermelon something serum in a stick. I didn't love that either. I wouldn't repurchase that either. The Lancome Genifique I loved. It's a youth activating concentrate hydrating serum that was so beautiful. Really could tell the difference between my skin using it and my skin not using it. I have a little tiny like travel size of it currently in my travel bags. I use it when I'm out and about. But I would repurchase that one. That is also very expensive. Skincare is very expensive, period. I also have a Sunday Riley Good Genes. This is the smaller version, the 0.5 ounce. I had a really hard time. I like this serum, but I have a really hard time purchasing this serum. I will link the Empties video that I went over this serum with you on, but I know that you guys can see that it kind of looks like the top of it is pushed up outside of it, and it's because it is that serum. You don't get that whole bottle full of serum. You get a little puffy bag on the bottom of the pumper full of serum, and that's all you get. And it's because it's the kind of puffy bag that it is, where it's air as you pump it, it kind of loses all of its air, and then whatever is left in that bag of product, and you can't get any of it out anymore because of how it escapes out the pump. Like, you have nothing left, and it's such a tiny bag. I know I'm probably not making any sense, but again, I will link the Empties video where I went over my disdain for this product, because it was just so disappointing to me that Sunday Riley had done this with a product that cost $44. I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's 0.5 ounces skincare is still $44. You should still get a decent amount of product. And I think I got 2.5 weeks worth of use out of this serum that you don't use very much of in the first place. So I was so angry. And then the other one was the Derma E vitamin C concentrate, and I really like that vitamin C. My skin likes vitamin C. So I do need to start utilizing another vitamin C product. I would repurchase the Derma E. I would definitely repurchase the Genifique. I wouldn't repurchase any of the others. So the next category I have here is makeup. And I am actually pretty excited because there's a lot of makeup to go over with you. And this is, I think, the last category besides lashes, which also filters into makeup. So there's that. But you're seeing here the 3 eye primers that I used. One was a sample, so the ABH was the last of, I think, 3 sample ABH eye primers that I had. I found that that was actually one of my favorite eye primers. So I did buy a full size of that. One of them is a deluxe size of the Ulta Beauty matte eyeshadow primer, and I love that. Also bought a full size of that. And then there is the KVD color correcting shadow stick. I won't purchase anymore. This was the second that I had purchased in my collection and had kept in my collection and loved in my collection. But now you don't have, like, I have so many shadow sticks right now, and I will use those also in the same way that I use this eye primer from Kat Von D. But I just found that at the end of the day, it was a lot more yellow than I remembered it being, and it impacted the coloring of the shadows that I put on top of it. So I won't purchase that again. Then I had 3 eyeshadows, and of those 3 eyeshadows, I had one of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows in So Quiche. I've had that in my collection for years, so was really shocked and surprised and so grateful to see that go. I did drop it. Some of it did go on the ground. Some of it was not emptied by my own use, but it was definitely very well used prior to that point. And then the other 2 are glitters. One of them is the Ciate Shadow Flip, and one of them is a Stila Glitter and Glow. Love those, and I did use those up. It wasn't because they were dried out. Really, really proud of the work that I did there. The next picture is one Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek and one Milk Makeup bronzing stick, and then a NARS deluxe size that I got as a birthday gift from Sephora. So 2 bronzers and 1 blush. Regardless, this blush and bronzer are full-size products for Milk Makeup now. When I purchased them, they were considered sample sizes or deluxe travel sizes, but this is the full size for Milk Makeup now. So I'm actually really proud of the work that I accomplished in finishing those 2 products specifically. The NARS Laguna bronzer was shocker to me, but bronzer that I fell in love with. So I put it in a project pan. It didn't take me long, honestly, to empty it, but it had been in my collection for about a year. This picture is also exciting. It is the foundations, concealers, and correctors that I used. So you can see that there are 4 foundations here. One of them is just a sample size, but the rest of them are full size foundations. So the Fenty Eavesdrops is in there, Studio Makeup, like tinted moisturizer is in there. The Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating is in there. And then the little sample is a sample of the Illamasqua, I do believe, Hydra Base. The 2 concealers that are in there, one of them is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. Wasn't my favorite, but I did have it in a project and it emptied through that project. It was one that I felt like was too thick for me overall. The other one is the Bare Minerals Stroke of Light, and I loved that concealer. Very thin, very serum-like. Loved it so much. The Becca Cup Corrector, I have another one that I purchased before Becca went out of business, so I do love that one, obviously. I would repurchase the Becca, but you can't, so after that one's done, I won't be able to purchase it anymore. I would repurchase the Bare Minerals Stroke of Light, but again, I do think that this is a product that's been discontinued. I would repurchase the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating, but this has been discontinued. And I would and have repurchased the Fenty Eavesdrops. So the rest of it, I would not repurchase. The tinted moisturizer was gross. It sat on top of my skin. As a matter of fact, it is a product that I put in my worst of beauty for 2022 that you guys saw last week. And the Illamasqua, I just didn't love the finish of it on my skin. So the next picture I have is my facial sprays or setting sprays, if you will. And I actually went through a lot more than I thought I did in this category. There are 5 here. One of them is an alginous, like splash, like hydrating facial spray that I kept in my purse. It had been in my purse for like ever. And the other 4 are full-size setting sprays. I take that back. The Benefit Professional one is one of their mini sizes, and then the other 3 are full size. Of these, I would repurchase the Professional one. I actually really did love the Ciate Watermelon Burst. That was a really nice one as well. I felt like it was really hydrating. I didn't 100% love the Dermablend one. I am going to keep that container for my Cinema Secrets that I keep in a bottle. But other than that, I really did not love the Too Faced Hangover RX, the spray. Didn't love that. So I wouldn't repurchase any of those except for the Benefit or the Watermelon Burst. The rest of them were just kind of meh setting sprays in my humble opinion. The next picture I have is the 10 face primers that I went through. And here's the true tea. Like, of these face primers, only 3 of them, 4 of them are full size, and the rest are either the travel size that you can purchase or some samples that I received. The Bite Beauty and the L'Oreal up at the top were 2 samples that I had received, and I didn't like either one of them. The Milk Makeup is the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. It is a wonderful, like, blurring primer. I didn't love the application of it because it felt very unsanitary to me, but I did like the performance of this as far as a blurring primer goes. I do have 3 sample size of the Professional, one of which was the Professional Pearl, which you can't get anymore, an illuminating pore filling primer, and then the other two are the Professional Hydrating. I liked to mix these together to get a hydrating and also pearly or illuminating version of a primer, and I did get rid of these through my Project Pan series. The NYX Plump Right Back wasn't a bad primer. I actually kind of liked it. It was not anything that I would say was like hydrating though, and I do think that it says it's a plumping serum hydrating kind of primer. I didn't really think it was specifically hydrating, to be honest, but I did like the primer. The Laura Mercier Pure Canvas primer was one that I had received from Influencer. I actually quite liked this primer. It was a blurring primer, and I'm not really a blurring primer kind of person, but this one was a little bit more lotiony in texture, and I do realize that me saying that there's a ton of pore filling blurring primers in this picture, but that's not who I typically am. I typically will go for a hydrating primer over anything else. The Tulip Prime of Your Life is a smoothing and firming primer, and probably my favorite out of this whole bunch. I would repurchase that and repurchase it and repurchase it again. I did go through this in my Project Pan series, but I put it in my Project Pan series because I couldn't put it down, and it was like a gimme product for me, for lack of better words, and I would repurchase this. Like, Tulip very quickly rose to one of the top like skincare purchases in my mind over last year. The last one is the L'Oreal Lumi. I don't know necessarily that this is a primer. It does have like a color on it. It's in the shade 901 Fair. I used it as a primer though. I mixed it with some of the matte primers that I was utilizing on my skin because I prefer not a matte primer. I have very dry skin. I don't love matte primers. So I used it with the Bite Beauty, as a matter of fact, and I used it with the other L'Oreal one, the Infallible Matte Lock. I used it as the only thing on my skin throughout many of the summer months. I think I've said before, and you guys know, I use a primer whether I'm wearing makeup or not. This is the primer that I would use specifically on days that I wasn't wearing makeup, because it just left such a beautiful, glowy, healthy look to my skin. So I do have it in the primer category because I used it as a primer, but there are 10 primers there. The next picture is of some of my lip products. And you guys, I was actually really shocked with this category, to be honest. There are 3 lip liners in here. I have 2 Charlotte Tilbury lip liners that were full-size lip liners, and I have a Buxom lip liner in here. That was also a full-size lip liner, so those are 3 full-size lip liners there. I have 3 lip glosses. All of them are deluxe size lip glosses, but there are 2 Clinique Pop Splash lip glosses and 1 of the Tower 28 Jelly lip glosses. Loved all 3 of those. Would repurchase any one of those. Have full size options in all of those, or not all of those specifically, but those 2 formulas. I do have full sizes in my collection of those as well. I did go through 1 lip stain. This is a deluxe size of the Clarins lip stain. It wasn't my favorite color of the Clarins lip stain, but it does have Clarins lip stains on my parameters of items I'd like to purchase at some point in time as a full-size Clarins lip stain in a color that I would love. This one kind of actually looked very orange on my lips, so definitely not a color for me, but I did love the product. I have 1 lip scrub. This is the Laura Geller lip scrub. This took me years and years and years to get through. I never want a lip scrub to take me that long to get through ever again. It was, you can see by all the markings on the side, part of a Project Pan, part of 2 years worth of Project Pan, if I'm honest. And I'm glad it's out of my collection at this point. It wasn't bad. It just lasted forever. There's not very much of it that you needed, and it lasted for a very long time. And then there are 3 lip balms. So the Trustique lip balm was a tinted lip balm, and then the Context Nude Balm was also a tinted lip balm that I actually fell in love with. It was on my, it will be, you guys will see a product that's in my best of 2022. It's a product that I received in Ipsy and had no intention of using, let alone loving and using up entirely, because I loved it so much. It was another one of those easy products to finish for me. And then the Kiehl's lip balm is in the tube. I like the Kiehl's lip balm, but I won't repurchase it because I like what it does for my lips, but I hate the taste of it. It tastes almost like gasoline, in my humble opinion. So I won't repurchase that. But of these items, I would repurchase every single one of them, to be honest, except for maybe the Tristique, because that lip balm took forever. I didn't really love it. I felt like it dried out my lips. Other than that, everything else I would, oh, and the Kiehl's. Everything else I would probably repurchase. The next picture is of the eyeliners that I was able to get through. And there are 6 eyeliner pencils and 4 liquid liners. 2 of those eyeliner pencils, 3 of those eyeliner pencils are Marc Jacobs eyeliner pencils. They had been in my collection for a long time, so it wasn't like I got them this year and used them this year, but I did use all 3 of those up. And then the other 2, one is a cargo eyeliner, and I believe it's in a black color, and the other one is a Smashbox one in a black color. And then the liquid liners are one of the KVD tattoo liners. I do like this liquid liner. It is a really great liquid liner that stays put and doesn't go anywhere. One is the Ciate Fierce Flicks. I did not love this liquid liner. I felt like it was too liquidy and went into any ounce of texture that you have on your eyelids. It seeped into every fine line and crack. Then I have the ABH liquid liner that's in the purple container. That was a wonderful liquid liner. I didn't mind it, and I do have a backup of it. And then the other one was the Huda Beauty Life Liner. This was one of the products that I also put in my 2022 Worst of Beauty. This was a kind of a catch-22 for me. I did love the liner. It was a beautiful liner. It stayed put. It went nowhere. And the pencil portion of it, because it was dual-ended, the pencil portion of it was really quite great. But the liquid portion of it was much like tar. And because it went onto my eyelids and it made my lashes stick together and it was super hard to get off, I didn't love using it. I especially didn't love taking it off. So it was not an eyeliner that I ever think that I will repurchase. I would repurchase the tattoo liner and the ABH liner, and I would repurchase all of those pencil liners, but the Marc Jacobs ones you can't repurchase anymore. I forgot there's also a lock liner in those pencils. I don't know much about that brand. I think I got it in an Ipsy. It was really waxy. I didn't love using it, and it broke and it fell out, and then I accidentally stepped on it. So it wasn't used up in entirety by me, but there was quite a bit of use on it before it fell out and broke and I stepped on it. So I did put it in with my empties. The next one is the brow products, and there's actually one brow gel that's in the picture all by itself because I forgot to add it to the bunch, but I did go through 7 brow gels and 2 brow pencils. Brow pencils take forever to go through. Brow gels typically take forever to go through as well, but one of the brow gels on here is the 3D Brow Tones in Magenta. I'd had that in my collection for something like 4 years, and it finally dried up. One is the Wonder Beauty one. Again, it was one that had been in my collection for a while, since BoxyCharm days, and it had finally dried up. The Essence one, which is the clear with the blue writing on it, was like water. And yeah, I went through it rather quickly because it was like water. It did literally nothing. It's also in my 2022 worst of. And then I have a full size and a sample size of the ABH brow gel. Love that brow gel. It's one of the brow gels that I keep in my collection. And then I also have a full size and a sample size of the 24-hour brow gel by Benefit, my favorite. So I was actually pretty shocked that I went through that many brow gels. But I do know that several of them had been open in my collection for quite some time, from back in the day when I was trying out different brow gels, and realized that I just really loved and couldn't be without the 3D or the 24-hour brow gel from Benefit. Brow pencils take forever. One of them was one that I finished really early on in the year, and the other one was one that took me the whole remainder of the year to go through. So, not surprised that there's only two of those. The last kind of category that I have on here is lashes, and I have quite a few different things. So number one, the package of the lashes that you guys saw in the miscellaneous picture that I have. I do have that added to this category. I have one lash serum and two lash primers in here. I wouldn't repurchase that lash serum. I really didn't understand it, and I don't feel like it did anything for my lashes. But the two primers, I would repurchase either one of those. I thought both of them worked out really well. But I really specifically loved the Lancome Cils Booster. I was dismayed, shocked, disgusted with myself when I found that that had been open and in use for almost a year. When I finally put it into my empties, that was shocking to me, but I would repurchase that for sure. It's definitely too expensive to purchase every 3 months, but I did love the CoverGirl one as well. So I have two lash glues. One's a full size and one is a sample size. One is of the Lily Lashes Lash Glue pen. I did not love that. The other one is velour lash glue, and I did end up repurchasing a velour lash glue. I just don't use lashes enough for a pen. I feel like it dried up really too quickly, and it was so hard to use, if I'm honest. So I wouldn't repurchase that. And then I have the Tarte Best in Faux. This is like a fiber mascara. It's really got like lash fibers in it. I would never repurchase this. This drove my eyes batty. I could not ever have that on my lashes ever again. And then I have not one, not even five, but 15 mascaras. Now, I wear a lot of mascara. I also use like 2 or 3 probably open at a time. Right now, I think I have 4 open because I have typically a colorful one, a lengthening one, a volumizing one. I like to layer my mascaras. 2 of these are samples that I didn't pay for, just brought into my collection. Samples as it pertains to this, I always value at around $3 because there's really no value to them. 4 of them are deluxe travel sizes. So I have 2 Benefit Bagel Bangs, 1 NYX Worth the Hype, and 1 MAC Magic Extensions. The MAC Magic Extensions was gratis that I received, I think, last year. The NYX Worth the Hype was also gratis that I received last year. The 2 Benefit Bagel Bang sample or deluxe travel sizes also, most of these are gratis, if I'm honest. But the Bagel Bangs, I love Bagel Bang. It's one of my favorites. The rest of these are full size. I purchased the 2 Max Stacks because after using the little tiny sample version of the Max Stack down below, I had to have both the big brush and the little brush of the Max Stack because I loved that mascara. I purchased those 2 mascaras. The rest of these mascaras were gratis or in a beauty box of some sort. So I have the Trustique one that was on my 2022 worst of video. This was the most gimmicky, the most horrendous, left no color, did nothing for my lashes mascaras. Tarte Maneater is one of my favorites, if I'm honest. The 2 Max Stacks Lash Idole by Lancome, phenomenal, but the component fell apart. Like, I had used it probably 12 times, and then I took the brush out and the whole inner part of the component came out with it, so I couldn't use it anymore. The Fenty, I can't remember what this one, Full Frontal, I think it's called, Really decent mascara, but I felt like it and the Pat McGrath Labs one that's right next to it, I consistently saw like flakiness from. So I quit those ones. I wouldn't repurchase. All the other ones I just mentioned besides Trustique, I would. The ColourPop BFF one, they don't sell it anymore, I don't think. Not in store. But I would repurchase it. It's blue, but I really like the Bad Gal Bang blue one, so that one I would purchase first. And then the last like full-size one there is the Bad Gal Bang waterproof, and I don't love it. I don't love it. I feel like it is not as good as the just regular end all speak all Bad Gal Bang. So I wouldn't repurchase that one. But those are the 15 mascaras that I went through. So with that said, that is all the empties that I had for 2022. We just walked through every single thing that I came to you every single month and went through. Of those empties, I had 78 beauty empties. So 78 items that impacted my overall makeup inventory, the beauty rehab series that I had, that I have on my channel. So makeup, beauty inventory products, 78 of them were beauty products. This is the total for all the products that we just went over. Everything that I emptied, this is the amount of money that I paid for everything that I emptied. For just the products that impact my beauty inventory, I emptied 78 products. Of those 78 products, 19 of them were gratis. 35 of them were purchased products by myself, and 24 of them were either gifted or came to me in a beauty box or some kind of way. And those equaled $1,488 worth of the total of my makeup empties or my beauty empties. So, you know, I have to say I'm really proud of the work that I did in terms of my beauty inventory last year. You guys should have already seen the makeup inventory that I put up last week. And my numbers are almost back to what they were 2 years ago before, you know, COVID happened and quarantine, and we were all buying because that's all we had to do. We couldn't see each other anymore. We couldn't go anywhere anymore. And retail therapy became the way of the world, right? So my my inventory is almost back to what it was prior to that point. And I'm really proud of the work that I was able to do. I'm especially proud that of the total dollars that I emptied, you know, the total value of the products that I emptied this year, that 1,500 of that almost were makeup products specifically. I am shocked at some of these categories, if I'm honest. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that if you did, you'll consider subscribing before you go. I hope that January is treating you all kindly, that you and yours are well, that you're happy, healthy, and safe, that you're getting along as best you can in this crazy world that we're living in right now. I would love to know what your dollar amount is of empties that you went through last year. And if you don't do this, just guesstimate how many empties you went through last year. I would love to hear your numbers because I'm kind of a numbers junkie. It's what my degrees are in, is accounting. So I'm kind of a numbers junkie, but let me know, you guys. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. So don't forget to hit me up down there. And until next time, bye friends.